Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today we're going to talk about a story that just makes me really happy. It's always nice when actors come out and you can fully support what they have to say, especially when they shut down pompous movie critics, as Russell Crowe has just done, defending a fantastic film from a long time ago. Amazing that this film has not been talked about more in our modern-day film culture, and that, of course, is Master and Commander. But before diving further into this story of epicness, please be sure to smash the like button, smash the rumble button if you're watching over there. I also upload these over to minds.com. It is the main social media platform that I am using, and so if you want to say screw you to YouTube but still continue to watch my content and support the channel, go check me out over on Minds. Check out the links in the description of the video, and also you'll find out ways to support the channel, including a crypto option, which is now available. So let's dive into this first story, which is that Russell Crowe indeed has come to defense, according here to the Daily Mail, of his cult classic, they say, epic Master and Commander, after it is bashed on Twitter with the expression kids these days, which I just think is fantastic because not only does it put the critic in his place, it also points out that these kids today have absolutely no attention span. As a teacher, I know this as a fact. So many students struggle with attention spans, and so when you have a longer film that's very well done and rich with beautiful cinematography, beautiful storytelling, and fantastic acting, you're not going to be able to hold the attention of these kids who have ADD minds, not because they actually have ADD, but because technology and social media and phones have almost built into, in fact, psychologists have done studies on this, have basically created this ADD personality type, and it's amazing how kids are showing signs and symptoms of ADD when they don't actually have it because of everything going on with social media, TikTok, and all of the rest. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the story because Russell Crowe is proving himself to be quite a badass, at least when it comes to fighting against stupid critics. It says here, Russell Crowe doesn't take kindly to anyone bashing one of his favorite movies that he once appeared in. The 56-year-old Oscar winner took to Twitter on Saturday to defend his 2003, kind of crazy to think it's been 18 years, maritime epic Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, after the English singer-songwriter Ian McNabb took aim at it. Crowe brushed off the complaints as a symptom of kids these days, while plenty of Twitter users rushed to defend the cult classic film. Again, if you've never seen the movie, it is pretty fantastic. Yes, it's a longer film, but it's an epic, and it's done incredibly well, and it is just plain awesome. The production design, the costume design, literally so many positive, amazing, objective qualities this film has going for it. Yes, you can absolutely point out that the box office was not there for this movie, but then again, that's on audiences and not on the film itself. Also more so on the marketing team, more so than the film itself. McNabb instigated the conflict with a quarantine-themed takedown of Master and Commander by saying, quote, lots of folks complaining about lack of sleep during the pandemic. May I recommend Master and Commander starring the usually captivating, attention-grabbing Russell Crowe? Ooh, boy. Saying that the film is a complete and utter bore and that it'll help you fall asleep. Obviously, this is one of those kids that does not have enough of attention span to be able to handle a film like Master and Commander, and Russell Crowe was very quick and ready to tear him down in the process. The musician added on saying, quote, I've never made it past the 10-minute mark. You're welcome, and thanks, Russell, before tagging the actor so that he would see the tweet. Ooh, boy, that's kind of a dick move there, man. You're calling him out on Twitter in public, in the public square, or at least it used to be the public square before all the censorship came into play, all to tear down a film that is arguably one of the best films ever made, and honestly one of the best films that most people, unfortunately, have not actually seen. Here is the actual quote. Here is the actual comment from Ian McNabb from Empire, again, counting this out. And also, let's just look at how badass Russell Crowe looks here with that long, flowing hair. It says here, confrontational McNabb instigated the conflict with a quarantine-themed takedown of Master and Commander. Indeed, it was pretty awesome. Now, here is Russell Crowe's response. He says, that's the problem with the kids these days, no focus. Peter Weir's film is brilliant. An exacting, detail-oriented, epic tale of fidelity to empire and service, regardless of the cost. Incredible cinematography by Russell Boyd, and a majestic soundtrack. Definitely an adult's movie. Oh, boy. I love that last part especially. Definitely an adult's movie. And this is a time when I have to give a complete and huge shout out to Tina, one of the Valks on my live stream. She is awesome. She is the Empress of the Universe, and this is her favorite film of all time, if not one of her favorite films of all time, so much so that she has to watch it pretty much every single year. And it really is honestly an epic film that I actually watched all the way through because of her recommendation, and it was phenomenal. And I do love how Russell Crowe responds with facts and says, this film honestly is brilliant. I'm going to tell you exactly why. I'm going to tell you about the exacting and detailed story. I'm going to tell you about the cinematography and the soundtrack, all of these objective qualities that cannot be refuted. Subjectively, you can find the film boring and not enjoy it, but to say that the film is bad is obviously not really a true statement. It goes on to say the actor shared some specifics about what the film not only compelling, or what made the film not only compelling, but beautiful to watch. And it goes on to say exactly what was said in those quotes there. It says that Master and Commander was well reviewed at the time of its release, and it's currently boasts an 85% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Of course, that was back in 2003 when Rotten Tomatoes had a lot more credibility to it, which bumps up to 93% when only the most prestigious critics are included. But the film is considered a commercial disappointment. The movie had a $150 million budget, but it only earned $211 million, which was considered lackluster after factoring in how much it would have spent on advertising and distribution. Yet, just as a little bit of a note on that, $150 million budget means that they spent well over, $225 million total when you add in marketing. You add on top of that the fact that it only got 60% or so of that $211 million. This film was a massive financial loss. There is no doubt about it. There is no way to spin that. However, does not mean that the film is bad. We all know box office does not mean a film is good or bad. If a movie like The Last Jedi can make $1.3 billion, but that film is complete crap, well then obviously we know that that is simply not true to say that the money that a film makes results in whether or not the film is good or not. It really comes down to the marketing campaigns and the belief that a studio has behind a project that leads ultimately to whether the film will be successful or not. Honestly, it would have been awesome to see Master and Commander do better at the box office, and maybe there was a time and maybe there was a place and maybe there was a year where the film could have done better. Maybe if it had a better studio behind it, pushing it more and believing in it, maybe it could have done better to the point of them actually continuing on in the story, because I believe, again, I might be wrong on this, and Tina can correct me in the comments below. Check out the pinned comment, because I'm sure that she has some commentary on this, but I'm pretty sure that there are stories that this film is based on that they could have continued on and told more about, even though, to be honest, I think the film stands by itself as an excellent movie. But it is honestly fantastic. The film's director, Peter Weir, told the Seattle Times in 2005 that the movie did well-ish at the box office, but it didn't generate the kind of monstrous rapid income that provokes a sequel. And here's the thing, Peter Weir, I'm going to have to call you out on that, because that is just not true. If you look at the actual raw numbers, that is a massive box office flop. And even though you probably made some of that money back in Blu-ray sales, DVD sales, and eventually, I don't know if it's released on 4K, but eventually you probably will get a lot of people that are fans of the film buying it on 4K as well. That film is definitely not well-ish. I think that is a gross oversimplification. Don't get me wrong, the film is still fantastic, but let's at least be honest here. It says, in recent years, cinephiles on Twitter have continued to praise the film and to really evaluate it. Josh Gad says a perfect movie. Josh Hodgman says agreed. Peter Ramsey says, that guy's an idiot! Expletive idiot. Russell, Peter Weir is a god. The movie's amazing and you're amazing in it. Thank you. You said it perfect, Russell Bubba. The kids don't know. You teach them to become legends. From the Iron Sheik, a wrestler. Awesome Iron Sheik to see that. And I would totally agree with you there. I think it honestly is completely fantastic. Crowe stars in the film as Captain Jack Aubrey, commander of the HMS Supreme. The film is set during the Napoleonic Wars of the early 19th century, and Aubrey's ship is ordered to battle the French ship Acheron, which he believes will try to attack the British whaling fleet. Paul Bettany co-stars as the ship's surgeon, Dr. Stephen Maturin. The film was nominated for multiple Academy Awards and won 2 for Best Cinematography and Best Sound Editing. I think both of those were well-deserved. It probably deserved more. The director, Weir, is best known for his string of Australian New Wave classics in the 1970s, including Picnic at Hanging Rock, which I have not seen. His later big-budget films include the Harrison Ford-starred thriller Witness, Dead Poets Society, starring the late Robin Williams, and the Oscar-nominated film The Truman Show. I will say this much, that is quite a legacy to lead. If you have films like Master and Commander, which is a huge-budget, epic film, which is fantastic, and unfortunately did not do well enough in theaters at the time, but has, thankfully and gladfully, become known for its cult status as a great, epic movie, but also the fact that he did a film like Dead Poets Society, which is also a freaking classic, and one of Robin Williams' best performances, with some of the best lines, the most quotable lines of all time, and also a movie like The Truman Show, which is probably one of the best performances that we have ever seen from the likes of, oh my goodness, I'm blanking out on his name right now, and that is quite embarrassing, but that is, of course, what happens when you do these stories live. Jim Carrey is the name I was looking for there. Jim Carrey, probably the best performance that we've ever seen from him in The Truman Show, a film that I think is vastly underrated for a lot of different reasons. That is quite a legacy to lead. It's very, very sad to see that there are people out there that are going to tear this film down because, oh, I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes because my little brain couldn't handle it. Why don't you put on your big boy pants, sit down, get a nice cup of coffee, so that way you can stay awake and enjoy the film. And again, if you don't enjoy the film, that is your right. You don't have to enjoy every single film that ever comes out. That's obviously something that we're going to have disagreements on. That's one of the great things about films. But for you to say the one thing about it is, oh, COVID, I'm going to make a joke and say, oh, Master and Commander, if you want to fall asleep. Taking a film that many consider to be a classic, in fact, most people who've seen the film, which may not be many, but again, the people who've actually sat down and taken the time to watch it have said that it's a classic film, to try and tear it down and put it into a joke about COVID, kind of in poor taste. So shout out to Russell Crowe for calling that nonsense out and for keeping things real. One last thing to talk about is apparently Warner Brothers is planning a Willy Wonka prequel that's set to release in 2023, and I just had to mention it because the fact that they used the picture over on Deadline of this atrocity, I find quite entertaining. Because even though that film was an atrocity, it was a lot of fun. It says Warner Brothers will be releasing Wonka on March 17th, 2023, a prequel to Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which focuses on the candy architect Willy Wonka's younger days before having his confection empire. The movie has been in development for roughly 4 years. David Heyman was always attached as a producer, and Paddington director Paul King is helming. Simon Farnaby co-wrote the script. It's early days for this project, and it won't be shooting while the UK is in lockdown. The hope is for a September shoot with no casting yet. I will say I have been a pretty big fan of the Paddington films. I think that if that is the direction, more of a kid-centric film, if that is going to be the direction of the Wonka movie, I think Paul King could actually be a pretty good person for that. I don't know as much about David Heyman, and as far as what films that he has actually produced in the four, I'll go ahead and DuckDuckGo that live. Yes, indeed, I've tried to basically moved exclusively to DuckDuckGo because screw Google and big tech. Let's go ahead and look at his filmography, though. He's done films like Juice. Oh, boy. My Valkyrie and anyone who's been in the chats will all know about Juice. That film was recommended several times over. He has done films like the Harry Potter movies, so it looks like he was the producer behind those movies. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas as well. Gravity, which was pretty fantastic. He's been behind the Paddington films. He was behind Fantastic Beasts 1 and 2. Okay for 1, blah for 2. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Marriage Story, not as good. But obviously he's actually done a lot of projects before. So to be honest, it looks like he's got enough of a pedigree here to be able to produce a pretty fun kids movie. Again, if that is indeed going to be the focus of their story when it comes to the story of Wonka. But I wanted to cover that because I just saw it. I was like, oh boy, isn't that interesting? So anyway, with that all being said, what are your thoughts? Are you excited for the Wonka prequel? But more to the point, and what most of the video was about, what are your thoughts about Russell Crowe here? Do you think that he's spot on in this? Have you seen Master and Commander? And let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comment section below as well. If you like this video, please be sure to smash the like button on either YouTube or on Minds. Smash the Rumble button if you're watching over there. Though to be honest, I'm honestly considering leaving the Rumble platform because there has been no clear indication of monetization over there. I have literally uploaded the videos as both Rumble only, as the higher up tier as well. I think like the exclusive to Rumble other than YouTube, so allowing it to be on YouTube and on Rumble at the same time. And I'm just not seeing anything. The Rumble doesn't do anything. I've gotten no word on anything like that. So I think I might just, in the next coming days, I'll try and weigh my options, maybe do one last-ditch effort, try and find exactly how monetization works over there. And if not, then I think I'll just give up on the Rumble platform and upload exclusively to YouTube and to Minds, which obviously my account will back up continuously to Odyssey. So there will still be an alternate platform that will be uploaded to, including also, as I said, to Minds.com as well, with the main channel, this one OMB Reviews, going directly to my Minds newsfeed, and Minds Plus getting my exclusive content for the OMB Report, which you can also find over on that YouTube channel. But anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know because, again, I'm all supportive of what Rumble's doing, but going through the process of uploading to all these different platforms can be a bit tedious, especially with as little time in the day that I have, and I'm just kind of over it altogether. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about that as well. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Again, especially let me know about the Russell Crowe comments. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my January 2021 Patreon and Subscribe Star members: Albertus Magnus, Ali C83, Andrew Hoyle, animation commentator Brian P, Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jay, Jeffrey Toone, Jonathan Carney, Laura Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his beautiful twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, On to June, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, and Tina B. Thank you very much for being my Patreon members. And also a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star peeps: Stan 4, John B, Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadan G. Adams, and ZK Man. You guys are all freaking amazing. Thank you so very much for being supporters. If you want your name shouted out, please consider joining on Patreon, where for $1 a month, you can get your name shouted out at the end of every single video and live stream. For $5 a month, you get access to that, and also you get access to exclusive giveaways, where I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, digital codes, etc. $10 a month will get you all that, plus also access to a special podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger. Lots of fun. We do Q&As from that as well, so you get access to asking those Q&As, asking us any wide variety of questions. And for $25 a month, you get all of that stuff, plus you get to be featured once a month on the Chosen of Valhalla live stream. And also for that first month, you get a free t-shirt shipped anywhere throughout the world. So if you want to consider any of those things, please check out the links in the description below, where you can find my Subscribe Star and Patreon, and also other ways to support the channel. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.